The Slim Fast 14-day effect on your New Year's resolution. Day 1, the new year. You want to kick it off with a bang, and you're not just talking about fireworks. Day 14, you're ready to start this year right, looking great and preferably on top.
2 weeks is all it takes to get what you really want. Swap 2 meals a day for Slim Fast protein shakes or bars, get in a 30-minute workout, and stick to a 1,200-calorie diet to lose up to 6 pounds in your first 14 days. Find Slim Fast in a store near you.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Parenthood After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Parenthood After Show.
Welcome, welcome, everybody. We don't have our theme song. I'm kind of sad. But this episode was actually pretty sad. Welcome, everybody, back to AFTERBUZZ TV Parenthood After Show. We are doing Season 5, Episode 14, You've Got Mold. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. And with me, I'm
Danica Kennedy.
And I'm Alana Jordan.
Yes, welcome back, ladies. Tiana is not feeling well tonight, so our best wishes to Tiana. BS. There we go.
She's having fun.
Yes. It's good to hear this upbeat theme when this episode ended so sad.
It's like the last upbeat part of the show.
I was really depressed even in the intro. And then they started playing the theme song and I was like, oh, it's so cheery all of a sudden.
It was a very sad episode overall. I mean, like throughout this whole season, we've got a lot of sad moments, but this whole episode just like translated throughout and really, and we'll get to it. So let's just start. Sarah and Hank, and we'll start the episode on a more happier kind of note. As Sarah, so she has her Serve project, and she has to shoot photos for the brochure, that big project that she just got. She wants to shoot photos at the beach. And Hank, he's inserting himself in there, because he didn't get this project in the beginning, he kind of wants to take over and say, no, you can't shoot at the beach. We'll just fake it here in the studio, and we'll Photoshop it later. And he's just like really trying to dominate this project, and Sarah's like, no.
It also really shows his Asperger-y side about how particular he was, about how he didn't want anything to go wrong at all. It had to be exactly how he wanted it. If the weather or anything was messed up, he couldn't just go with the flow, and that's why he had to choose the Photoshop way, I think.
Yeah, and even Sarah's like, you don't even like Photoshop. So it really goes to show that Hank just wanted to take over this project and have it be his creative input on the whole thing and have slap his work all over it and not have Sarah not really do anything.
I love that Carl comes over, though, and when she's saying, I hired Hank because I'm in over my head, and he goes, you're not in over your head, you're just out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
I was like, Carl, saving babies,
That's right.
dropping knowledge bombs, being awesome.
I thought that was very insightful. And
I approve of him. For her.
I love him.
And I loved how Max was, surprisingly, the one that kind of had set Hank straight. Be like, well, my Aunt Sarah, I don't think she's going to fail because you keep saying that she will, but I don't think she won't. And usually Max is right on things.
And he was right. She's the one that got the job. They both interviewed, and he probably pitched his idea the Photoshop way or whatever way he was going to do it, and she did hers, and that's the one they chose.
Yeah, and we see Sarah's with her beautiful storyboard ideas that she had visualized for this project, and I was like, Sarah has the creative input that's the reason why she got the project. And then Hank said the reason why he doesn't is because of his personalities, which is probably true, but Sarah was hired for her creative vision, not Hank's.
He's not easygoing enough to work with.
And she doesn't have the experience, but she clearly has the drive and the passion for it. I mean, she even says this was when she finally does shoot. She said she wishes she could do that every day and that she loves it. Whereas he's just like, Mom, taking pictures. This is what I do.
I need a drink now.
But yes, Max sets him straight a bit, and then he finally gets over that and goes up to Sarah, be like, "Hey, well, what's he say? That actually today turned out to be a nice sunny day." And Santa Cruz is like, well, "What are the chances of that?" I'm like, "You're in California. Your chances of a sunny day is like pretty much 100%.
That's why we film everything out here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what the weather's always like in Santa Cruz, but good chances if you're in California is bright and sunny out. So they go to the beach, and it actually turns out pretty well. And Sarah takes all their photos, and then at the end, and I loved Hank's realization, and Sarah tricks Hank to just have, Hank say, "Yes, you were right, you did a good job. It all turned out good." What do you think of that? I thought that was nice to show the relationship, especially working together after all this.
They have such a weird relationship. I'm kind of just wanting them to make up their minds if they're ever going to get back together or if they're just going to have this weird friendship.
I think he's into it, but she's not. And I think if it wasn't for Carl, she would be more into it. But she does have that kind of admiration for him because he is an experienced photographer, and now that's what she's getting into. But I was proud of Sarah for finally standing up for herself.
I feel like there's going to be something weird, though, where Hank's going to, like, get in the way with her new relationship somehow.
All about the love triangles.
She's always in a love triangle, so it's very her, first of all. And why are you still working with your ex? Like, I understand that you do the same thing as them, but, like, I don't know. Being friends with an ex is hard enough, but having them be your coworker is ridiculous, especially someone that has Asperger's and is as difficult as Hank and tied in with your family because he's hanging out with your little kid nephew all the time.
Right.
It's just a very weird
He's very ingrained in their
relationship.
family. It's odd.
Yes.
It's an unlikely pairing. I will give it at that. But Sarah was the one who did ask Hank to be that professional partner in helping with this project. And I feel like, and Hank, it was his jealousy also taking over, that he originally wanted this project, he didn't get it, but he still has the chance to still work on it, so he wanted to do it.
I can't believe she even wanted to work with him after he said, when she says, well, it was my vision that got me the job, and your vision they didn't want, and he goes, well, it also helped that you were sleeping with the guy in the suit. I would have been like, all right, get out and don't ever speak to me again.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept that either.
Again, that was Hank's jealousy. Playing into that, and also that, it was his jealousy, and I just feel like Hank, he just wants to do everything himself, and it was just him saying that she doesn't have experience, him just putting his work all over her project.
I don't think it's that she doesn't have experience, it's that she doesn't have any confidence. She doesn't believe in herself ever.
Exactly.
She's artistic and she's creative and she's talented, and every time she has a way to put herself down, like, oh, I've never done a project like this before, I can't do it, so I need to have Hank do it. So that's like how she gets her ex-boyfriend involved. It's like, no, just grow some balls, Sarah, and just do it, and like, do the job how you think it is, and if you fail, whatever, you'll have another job later.
Exactly. It's exactly what you're saying, that Sarah doubts herself a lot, and you can see that, and she has a lot of self-doubt. And then Hank being...
relationships are always
exactly. And Hank being so blunt and upfront with everything, saying, you can't do it, and you're going to fall flat on your face, she's going to probably believe that because she doesn't think positively of herself.
That was kind of the one silver lining of this sad episode, was that Hank finally was able to bend a little bit and admit that he wasn't always needing to be in control, and Sarah was finally able to get some confidence.
Yes,
but other than that...
But overall, it turned out a good project, and then they go and celebrate and get some drinks.
It's like, in a weird way, they kind of balance each other out, but they're also just really weird, and they shouldn't date.
It's unusual.
Yeah, but somehow they still manage to work together and still have a great creative project. I'd like to see the end result. We saw them actually doing the production. Now I want to see how it actually, visually, the photographs turn out in the brochure. So hopefully they'll come back and tie that up. But Adam and Kristina, they're having some problems with Max. Again, Max is in school, and he's having problems in history class. His teacher, Mr. Wyman, who Kristina called Hyman, Freudian slip on purpose. But he's having problems in history class. He's very brainiac. The way Max does, just spurts out all these details, and then the teacher's having trouble teaching the other students, and then the teacher sends Max to the library 21 times out of 29 days. That's
it's sad because he's not just interrupting because he's, having an outburst or anything. He's actually interested in the subject, and he's saying facts about what they're learning about, which is the saddest part about it. He's getting kicked out of a class that he's actually interested in.
And he's actually good at. I mean, and I don't know what it's like to be a teacher to deal with kids that has that condition when you have other students who still need to learn too. And I can understand, and I'm not like justifying his actions, but I can understand the quick fix to just sending a kid to the library, so like sending him off so you don't have to deal with him, but you can deal with the other students. I understand the quick fix, but that still doesn't make it right.
And then the kid's not learning anything.
No,
what's the point of them being there at school?
It's not helping Max. Yes, we know he's very smart and educated already, and he probably already knows all this stuff. But still, you have to include him in it in school and education.
That's why I love this show. They're so good about integrating important topics like education and special ed needs without it seeming preachy or over. Like, it just is completely natural. But they show that it's not just Max. It's, Kristina's helping.
Kristina's helping her friend, Kiana.
Keanu's mom.
I don't think we ever got her name, but we'll call her Kiana's mom. But with an IEP, which is an individual educated program or plan, that her daughter, Kiana, has to set up IEP so she can get individual teaching because she's
a brainiac.
She has conditions. She's reading quantum physics.
For fun.
But that goes to show, like, she's really smart too. She's having trouble learning in school, and Kristina helps her friend out, and she sits in that meeting and just realizes this is all that she's probably going to have to go through with Max
in the next year or two.
Yeah, and next year in high school.
And she talks to Adam about it and basically says, there's nowhere for this girl to go. There's nowhere to put her. We don't even know what we're fighting for because she has no options. What are we going to do when it's the exact same thing next year with our child?
Yeah. Except, my immediate thought was, they should just have Max be homeschooled for high school or put him into a private school that has tutors or something that can help him. Yeah. But of course, Kristina doesn't just think homeschool. She thinks, I'm going to make a school for a bunch of kids like this. Well, just like how her husband made the recording studio. She's going to build a school now.
And I loved that, too, that they were so supportive, Kristina and Adam both, because this is this big kind of outlandish idea that she has. And his response is, well, if anybody can do it, you can.
You can.
And she says, I can, we can. It's like,
that's true.
You guys are such a
very
good couple.
true. But Kristina's so driven, and when she thinks about something and wants something, she will do it. She wanted to run for election, she did it. Granted, she didn't win, but she still did it. She had cancer, she didn't let it beat her, and she overcame that. So, like, of all people, of the whole Braverman family to do this, it's Kristina.
And she genuinely cares about education. We've seen that all season long.
She ran her whole mayoral campaign on education.
And she's still taking calls. She's still helping strangers.
Yeah.
She needs her next thing anyways. I mean, she can't just be the neighborhood, therapist helping out everyone.
Yeah.
Like, she's helping out these random people all the time, which isn't a job, but she's basically a saint, being like the Mother Teresa of the neighborhood, helping out everyone else. So if she opens up a school, that could be her next project instead of, winning mayor.
Next big project. I would like to see them if they actually do go through this, because, I mean, I can't imagine how hard it is for parents who actually have kids that deal with these conditions and try to, integrate them into the social community, because they had Max in a regular school, then they moved him to the special school, and then they integrated him back into the mainstream school, and now that's not working again. They don't want to separate him in an individual with the special education, and I don't think that's right. And I don't know how many programs are out there that actually help that.
He's not special ed. That's the thing.
Exactly.
He
they
have
don't
a
want
learning
that
disability.
too.
He's just so intelligent in a different way than most kids are, that he doesn't have, like, I guess what people would say common sense or like the normal social skills as everyone else. So he's actually smarter in a way. Like he could almost skip a few grades.
He could.
On his intelligence level. So I love how they portrayed that on the show, though. I feel like
I'm
that's
excited
very
to see
accurate.
where that project goes too, and it's going to be good to have a positive thing for the family to rally behind,
and to have more to understand more kids who are different but are still similar and still having the problem integrating into the mainstream. So I love how they just reach out to that whole community.
Finding a place for, like as you said, the kids who just don't belong anywhere.
Yeah. Because they don't belong in that special ed room.
That's got to be so isolating.
Yeah, and that's not good. That's not good. That's not social. So yes, good for Kristina. I really do hope that happens. But Jasmine and Crosby, they're having some home issues, mold issues. So apparently, this little stain turns out to be a bigger problem. They have mold. And I loved how they had the guy in the hazmat suit at the beginning. You know it's serious. Yeah, you know it's serious when they're coming out of your house in hazmat suits.
Jabbar has the best line in the whole episode. He looks like the guy who took away E.T.
Yeah. I was like, yes, E.T. reference.
That was awesome. And so they have to live in a motel. Tomatoes, apparently, but
not quite the Four Seasons or the Ritz or whatever she was talking
about. Because Crosby's insurance doesn't cover molding, so that's got to be hard. And
they left the stain there for 4 months.
4 months, yeah, and that's not. And you can also put that as a claim, be like, how long has it been there? The longevity. And you say 4 months, they're like, nope, you didn't tackle it right away, then, yeah, we can't cover that.
Can't help you with that.
Yeah, we can't cover you for, procrastination.
But I did like, too, like the Crosby-Jasmine relationship, because even though they're in this horrible motel that is so tiny and, they're going crazy, she's still
cabin fever.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm losing my mind. Where are you not losing your mind? She's like, well, I've been through worse. We'll get through this too. We'll get through it together. I was like, God, Jasmine and Kristina, like, just all these girls are just holding it down.
I gotta say,
did not want to go back with his parents.
No,
she kept saying, "Why don't you call up your parents? We can just stay in the guest bedrooms or something. They have plenty of room. It would be free. They're not going to charge us." And he was just like, "Nope, that's not happening." And then, of course, in the end, they end up doing that. But
I question why Crosby wanted not to go back to his parents. His parents are loving. Everyone's over at the house. You have a lot of space. They will welcome you back in open arms. And then I was like, was your childhood that bad that you don't want to go back to your home?
It's like the Braverman home base.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like most parents, though, like, you meet your friends' parents and they seem nice and cool, but to the kids, it's like, oh, they're the most annoying people ever. I feel like everyone gets easily agitated by their parents, basically. So it's like, if you're planning on staying there for a few days, that's fine. It depends on how long the stay is gonna be. Are you gonna get, your tolerance level for them? You have to be able to tolerate being around them for a long period of time.
I would just be like, hey, they can babysit, which...
Yeah, perfect.
Have you guys noticed that the baby has now gotten very quiet after the episode about like how this is the most loud, annoying baby? And then they're like, that's not going to work out.
It's very
white, extremely pasty.
Yeah, it's a very
now
white.
It's like
baby.
The whitest, quietest baby. I was like, what has happened with this? Did they trade out their child? What has happened?
I'm like, if Jabbar is that dark, why is that baby so pasty white?
Well, like Tiana said, sometimes it takes a while for the babies to toast up.
That's what she says, but I don't think it works that way. So.
Probably not.
She probably would know better than me.
But because they were supposed to only be in the motel for 2 weeks, which is doable. Then they find out that it might be a couple months instead, and then that's where Jasmine was like, "Get over your pride, Crosby. Call your parents right now. They're not going to charge us. They will welcome us back. We have lots of room." And then they finally do go back home. So that was sweet. So thank you everyone on iTunes and YouTube for rating, downloading, commenting on Parenthood. We love this show. I agree with the whole situation. This whole season's like so emotional, and it's going to get more emotional apparently, and we'll cover that in, later on. But thank you for downloading, rating. Please subscribe to AfterBuzz TV Parenthood. Let us know what we're doing. Let us know what other shows you'd like to see at AfterBuzz. We do over 60 plus shows now a week, all free content for you. That's how we grow here at AfterBuzz. And another thing that helps us grow here at AfterBuzz, Slim Fast.
And with Slim Fast, 2 weeks is all that it takes to get what you really want. In 14 days, the only thing higher than your confidence will be your hemline, ladies. This podcast is brought to you by Slim Fast.
Slim Fast is amazing. It's so good. I really want one like after we finish this and like just go out and get
refreshing.
Slim Fast. Yes, very healthy too. So New Year's resolution, drink some Slim Fast. All right, so Zeke and Camille. Camille's back home and she's taking her online art class, and it seems like Zeke and Camille, they're a bit happier now. Do you think? Do you think that like Zeke, they're truly happy again?
They're kind of, well, the beginning of the episode, you can see that they're kind of teetering around each other because she's still very much like into the I want to be adventurous and creative, and he's kind of more reserved, but they're another good example of like the couple that has the good give and take. I love the scene when she's painting and he comes out and he's like, "You got like ham? Just try some prosciutto."
Prosciutto. That stuff is good. You should try it.
Travel changes you, though. When you travel the world or when you go a new place, it really changes your personality and how you see life. And I think she's just so amped up from that. She
married young and had 4 kids and stayed home and raised them, and
now's her time to see the world, and I think she's on that fix right now. She just wants to go everywhere. She wants to see everything.
She wants to see more.
She wants to keep painting and eating, and I mean, that's exactly what I want to be doing with my life right now. Traveling the world and doing art and eating. That sounds fabulous. I don't blame her.
And Zeke even says, "This is the happiest I've ever seen you."
Yeah.
But she was a different person. He also said, like, you're here, but you're not all the way here. And that's what I meant by, like, how travel changes you. It's like, she wasn't a different person. It just is eye-opening. You see more of the world, and you're not stuck in your little bubble and, like, your little life with the people you know. You, like, see that there's so much more out there, and you're just, like, a little speck, basically.
Break the complacency.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was good to see Zeke realize that Camille is happy. Zeke is kind of happy, but Camille, that he realized how much Camille has sacrificed over these years and all the compromises she's made with the family and kids and stuff. And then he comes up with the belief that, you know, if selling this house will make you happy, I will do it for you. I will do it for us.
And he wasn't happy in it alone anyways. We saw him just, you know, lounging
that was such
around.
A sweet scene when he was talking to her and he was like, you know, I just don't want to lose you. When you weren't here, it wasn't the same. Like,
so cute and romantic.
That was
Craig Nelson is just amazing.
I love it. I love the line he said, being in this house without you isn't going to work. So no matter how big or how small the house, so long as Camille's not there, it's still...
He just wants to be with her.
Yeah, he just wants to be with her. And so they agree, I guess. They agree to finally put the house
Finally. That's what I've been wanting him to say. I'm like, why doesn't he want to travel and do this with her? You think he's still not going to do it, go through with it?
Well, it's hard for everybody or anyone to sell this house that you created a family.
It really is. Like, yeah, you see it is the home base. I mean, that's where Crosby and Jasmine and they all go as their refuge when they can't go home.
And Julia, we saw that.
Yeah.
Everyone goes home there when they need to escape.
Sometimes you just need to go home.
In the preview for not next week's, I guess, end of February's episode, next time we're back here, it shows that Crosby is upset about the house, and I feel like there's going to be this huge, that's going to be like a huge plot line, is going to be this house.
Can you imagine poor Julia thinking, you know, she's losing her home that she built with Joel, and now she's losing her childhood home too.
Yeah, so, you know, let's get into Julia. Julia and Joel. the saddest part of tonight's episode, you knew it was coming. It finally escalated to this point. Joel has officially moved out, and they're trying to figure out a way how to tell their kids, Sydney and Victor, how it will affect them. Because right now, in the past few episodes, we've seen that they're starting to realize something's going on with their family. And now it's just a matter of actually sitting them down and saying that we still love you, nothing, but, Joel's going to move out. And then the acting from all of them, I mean, they're so young, too.
They're so good.
We had Shola in the studio, just like amazing acting from those two kids, and just saying, you can't go, we're a family. Oh, that's really hard.
It was so sad too.
Rough.
They showed them playing together. Like they said something about Joel and Julia originally when they were gonna tell the kids. They were watching them playing video games, and they were talking about how they were playing games together. How long were they playing? And they're like, last year we would have killed for this to happen. They couldn't get the kids to get along, and then now they're the problem. And so they put off telling the kids another day, seeing if they could work it out. And
it's so sad to see the kids happy together, and then giving them such hard news. And I can't imagine ever being in that position. Fortunately, my parents are still together, so I never had to deal with that. But
broken homes. But
I think they really do speak well on how marriages that are suffering really do affect the kids, and it just relates to a lot of homes.
It's so rough too, because they're not on Joel and Julia are on two completely separate pages when they're talking to the therapist about we want to talk to our kids, we don't know how to say it, and she says, well, have you definitely decided that you're going to get a divorce, or is this just a trial separation? And Julia, it's definitely just a trial separation, and Joel was like, I don't know.
Which is
there was serious hesitation there, because Julia wants to reconcile, but there was a long pause. He's like, I don't know.
Well, she even begs him later and says, don't give up on me. And he says, I'm sorry that we're at this point, but we are. So he's over it.
Do you think they'll ever get back together?
I think he's too stubborn right now. He's really upset.
He's really emotionally hurt right now.
I think it's gonna be, it draws out for a while, but I think ultimately they end up back together. I mean, they're Joel and Julia.
I think so too.
They're too good.
They're gonna drag this on for a while, though. I think they're gonna have a really long separation where the kids are going back and forth and trying different things out with therapy.
This show is really realistic with the timing, because this is such a big issue. It's not something that would be glossed over in a couple episodes and done. It's gonna be a big recurring thing.
Oh yeah.
And I find it, my mind just went in a terrible, more negative way with their relationship. I'm like, oh my God, we're seeing we're seeing Zeke and Camille getting back together and getting on that same common ground. And now we're seeing Joel and Julia, their relationship's going to take a turn for the worse. I'm like, one couple's getting back together and another couple's really breaking up.
Well, you mentioned something earlier when we were just talking about the episode here before we came on about what Zeke said. What did you say?
Yeah,
Zeke said to Camille is what Julia should have said to Joel a long time ago. There's a lot of
I realize that you've made sacrifices and you've really been the one that has had to compromise. And that's really all he wanted to hear, is
she
that
said that to him and explained.
If she'd said it a while back, then I think they would have been fine. But like he said, it's too little too late.
Yeah, and communication.
She was
you gotta
sketchy.
do it.
She wasn't honest and upfront
For a family
with him.
all about communication. Come on, Julia, what are you doing?
Have it together more.
You should have known this was gonna
slacking. And then you see when the kids. I think that the kids were kind of pretending that they weren't feling good so they could see their dad.
100%.
I'm sure kids at that age knows what's up. But Julia doesn't go to Joel. She goes to her parents, which I thought was actually a good choice.
She needed to be there.
When she said, get your coats, I was like, oh God, is she going to go bother Joel? And that's so much worse. I was like, you're going to make it so much worse.
That is too confusing. You can't do that. You can't do that to your kids. That is way too confusing.
But then that also shows that the house, it's where It's where everyone feels safe.
Where everyone goes. You go back to your home. And then she said at the end, like, I just wanted to be home with her parents. And then she also, Julia also says, I haven't told you guys everything. And she realizes that her marriage might be ending. Or is probably going to end.
The way we're talking about this is we're going kind of family by family, but everything's happening at the same time in the show, and it's really great because Zeke and Camille are having this conversation about, we're going to sell the house, you know, we're going to change our lives, and then at the same time, Jasmine and Crosby are having this argument, like, call your parents, we need a place to stay.
We need to go home.
Really need a place to go, and then Julia's losing her marriage. Who knows if she's going to lose her house, what's going to happen with that, and she's coming over too, so it's just crazy about how it's all syncing up with the timing of how they want to sell the house, and everyone needs it at the same time.
Yeah, and Erica Christensen, she's such a good actress, but when she's like crying that last line that she said, my marriage might be over, I just wanted to come home, and you're just like, don't sell the house.
I know.
I was this close to crying. I held it together, but that was a good season finale,
we all
though.
were pretty good about holding it together, but
But sad.
I loved how they brilliantly tied that together because they said this is just a big house with no one here, and now they have 2 kids back home. So I hope they don't sell the house.
I hope it's kind of a reminder to Camille that, hey, you're still needed, you're still part of this family. Go do your adventures, but come back. Like don't just be a nomad. Have this be your home base. Then go off vacation. Then come home.
Yeah, I don't get why she doesn't want to do that. Like, keep her house and her nice garden. She can have an art room there. You know, just stay in that house, and then you can go off an adventure just like how she already did.
She was saying it was like, let's downgrade for money reasons because we keep having to put all our money into the house. I want Zeke to fix up that car, sell it, and use the money to take her somewhere really nice.
I like that idea.
That's what I want.
That's a good idea. But yeah,
if I take Tiana's place as honorary Parenthood writer for the evening,
there you go.
She always does that. If I was the writer,
Parenthood writers, Elena's also available. Come on,
I'm just saying.
We're all available if you need help with the show.
Just consult with us. We'll give you ideas. So yes, everyone's back home. I don't think they'll sell the house.
I hope not.
It was overall. This was a really, for the most part, sad episode.
Depressing, but really good.
Yes, really good.
I enjoyed it.
Oh my goodness.
Even though it made me sad.
Yes, it's sad. I think that the sad thing is like how true this really can be. Because so many families have gone through this at one point in their lives. Maybe not us, but it has affected other people.
There's a plot line for everyone in this show that they can hit.
There really is.
The divorce stuff's hitting me. A lot of my friends that I know, like almost all my friends have divorced parents. It's weird that you guys have married parents. Like it's if you think, more common to have divorced parents now, I think, than at least in my friend group.
Yeah, well, my parents are part of that older generation that still stays together, thankfully.
Good for them.
And I just love how it applies to anyone. So why everyone has to watch the show. But so overall, great episode. And let's, is there anything else you want to cover? Did we miss anything? Craziness?
No,
not that I can think of.
I can think of.
So let's, get into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so fun, interesting article I found last week. Like I think it was like 1 or 2 days after we did our last after show from last episode. The random guys that were at the poker game in last week's episode were actually there on purpose. Where one of them was there. David Walton, he was a friend of Crosby's, but he's actually going to start in About a Boy, which is also from the Parenthood producers and also airs on NBC after the Olympics. And
shoots in the same place.
Shoots in the same area. And Dax Shepard, Crosby's character, is actually going to cross over to About a Boy. So there's a crossover episode with Parenthood and About a Boy. I think that's like really great way to like kickstart About a Boy, and when you bring someone else from an already successful show. And I thought that was brilliant. It was so subtle that we never thought of it. Like we never realized it.
I didn't notice it at all.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I just went, oh, David Walton.
Yeah, well,
I like him.
Yeah, last week we were like, what are these random guys doing? Or like, who are these random people? But they were actually there on purpose. So
yeah, we were like, they have friends. They always just hang out with their family. It's so weird.
That was brilliant. So I'd like to see that. I believe About a Boy airs on NBC after Olympics February 22nd, 2014.
I love Minnie Driver too, and she's going to be in it.
Okay.
So.
And Benjamin Stockham has, who plays the little boy on About a Boy, has actually been here at the studio a couple times. So maybe we can get him back.
So cool.
That'd be fun if we cover that show. And also, I have some fun photos too. So if you're listening on iTunes, I highly suggest you go over to YouTube. So Mae Whitman, who we didn't see in tonight's episode,
Sadly,
we didn't see Amber, but she tweeted out today a photo of Miles Heiser and Max Burkholder. They're looking up at the sky at something, but they look happy, and she said beauty. So I wonder what they're...
Do you know what day this was around? Was it last week?
It might have been last week. She posted it.
I think I know what it is. Okay. Last week I was working on the Universal lot where they film, and there was skywriting that was done by Shia LaBeouf. Do you remember that? And it said like, I'm sorry, Daniel something. And we were talking about it at work, and I thought it was like, oh, maybe someone got proposed to, and they were like rejecting them in the sky, like, I'm sorry, Daniel. But we found out online it was actually Shia LaBeouf. He was saying, I'm sorry, in like a really douchey way, basically. Or something he did. Like, what was it?
Plagiarizing. And then he plagiarized his initial apology. He wrote this really nice apology to Daniel, and then they found out that he plagiarized the apology too. So then to make up for it, skywriting.
So maybe that's what they're looking at, is the skywriting. Everyone else was looking at it last week. So
see, I love all this insight news, because I would have never thought that.
I might just be making this up. They might just be looking at a cloud for all we know. That's cool. I didn't know that was going on.
So our next photo, we have Erica Christensen tweeted out, or Instagram, a photo of her and Retta, who is mostly known from Parks and Rec. She plays Donna in Parks and Rec, and so I love that show. Another NBC show. Go watch it.
Love that show.
Great show. And they're good friends too. So I thought that was cute. And then our next photo, we have... Oh, sorry, not that one. That's another project photo. But Erica Christensen tweeted out, or Instagram... either they tweeted or Instagram, both of them usually, photos of... I forget these women, but her makeup team for Parenthood, and I love like the recognition that she gives to all the behind the scenes people that you never think of.
Fun fact, right behind them is the sound stage that they shoot The Voice.
Oh, fun stuff. I love that.
So their parking, Adam Levine's parking, is right next to that wardrobe.
So they're in the parking lot there. Very cool, very cool.
If you want to go stalk Adam Levine anyway.
I always like look at it and I'm like, no one's in that parking spot. Nope. Cool.
And then I believe we have another one. Then Erica Christensen tweeted out a photo of Tyree, Savannah, and Sholo. They're just looking cute together, and Sholo looks squished in the back. His squished face. I thought that was really cute.
That is cute.
And I believe there's maybe one more.
You wrong.
Nope. And then I guess that's all the photos. So I just love all the Twitter, seeing the family when we're not talking about them. It's really cute. So let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay. Joel and Julia, let's just get right to it. Do you think they always say absence makes the heart grow fonder. Do you think some separation time will do them good?
I'm hoping the Zeke and Camille thing was kind of a little hint. She left and then he realized how much she missed her. So I'm hoping it'll be just round 2.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think he's going to move out, and then it's going to be really hard on the kids, and they're going to see that, and they're going to have a really good conversation, kind of make up over the span of several episodes. This isn't going to happen right away, but I think that they're going to eventually work things out, but it's going to be a tedious road.
Mm-hmm. I want to say, because there are 2 kids, I might be wrong here, but I just want to say statistically, marriages break up more so when there are kids involved, and like if you have like one kid, you're more likely to break up. But if you have more than one, if there are multiple, you're more likely to stay together. So I think having 2 kids might force them to stay together, because there's a more reason to be together and work things out for the kids.
Well, also, how is this going to look to the adoption agency where they got Victor from? Aren't they going to be like, what the hell is wrong with this family? Victor. They just got him like last year. And then they seem like this happy, perfect family. And then this is happening right after they got him. And they didn't even start arguing until they got Victor. Not to blame him for the problems, flaws of their relationship, but that was really the initial But
it was also Julia left her job. And I think that was a big thing, was she was very career focused, and we saw that throughout the whole series, was her big thing, and then to suddenly switch and be a housewife, and she just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and losing your job is one of the biggest stresses on your life too, so that was probably a big factor in their relationship too. Her stress was affecting their relationship. All right, and I don't think Zeke and Camille are going to sell that house. It's too much of a personality. It's a character in and of itself.
I think him making the offer, and I think him, actually, I think he's going to take the steps to go through with it, but I think she's going to call it off at the last minute and say, no, this is our home. We should stay here. But because, you put in all the effort and everything, she appreciates it.
I almost feel like since he's willing to do it for her, she's going to be willing to not do it for him in the end.
Yeah. What do you think of Kristina? Do you think she's going to go through with this?
Definitely.
Building a school? This is a big project.
I think she's going to go through with it.
And I think it's going to be awesome. I want Kristina to just... I want this show to go on to the point that Kristina becomes president and there's like a scandal crossover and like Olivia Pope is just like...
she goes head on head.
All our favorites.
One-on-one with Olivia Pope.
Mix them all in, and then About a Boy's thrown in there too. I love it.
Just throw all those network shows together. It'd be amazing. I would like to see this. I think it'd be interesting. Sometimes I think Kristina gets way over her head, and it might fall flat, but I think it would be cool. And she made the good point that Adam started a whole record studio, and that was hard, but they still managed to do it, and they're successful, so why not Kristina?
And I feel like she lost Mayor. She needs something else equally awesome.
She needs something to do with her time now.
Yeah. She's one of those people who's constantly striving for something more. I know what that's like.
I just like seeing her win. So I can just see this as being, her big win. Like, no, I'm not mayor, but this is better because I helped all these kids and I wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
I feel like she has this personality trait that I kind of have where it's like, it's a very competitive trait where it's like, I want to do something, and then if someone's like, no, you can't do that, and then it's like, oh, watch me. Like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And like, she was kind of like that with Mayor. She's like, I'm going to do it anyways. Even though she lost, she did it and gave her full-on, hardest work. And I think she's going to do the same thing with this school. I don't know if it's going to fall flat, though, with this or not. I think she's going to put on full effort, though.
I think it'd be really cool. And she can get a lot of people to help her. She does have amazing connections to people.
Whole community back in her
A whole community. So it really would be a really fun project to see. But let us know what you think. Keep the conversation going on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Let us know what you think of this amazing show. Where can we all find you to keep the conversation going?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Danica Kennedy, and on my YouTube page, youtube.com/Freckles-Wears-Tutus.
You can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan.
And you can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV. Follow all of us here at AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV. Parenthood is taking a mini hiatus. We'll be back after the Winter Olympics on February 27th. So we will see you then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.